Just taking a moment to breathe in the space with you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Wherever you are, say hello. Aloha, Sveta. It's been a while. Welcome. We'll take a moment and see how we can gather, knowing that I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to gather a bunch of audience at this point, because this is going to go out to who it is guided to. And this is not a broad path conversation. This is a narrow path conversation. And I'm going to share it from my wall to my page, so bear with me. You're listening to the smooth sounds of Anton Miserak. I love Anton Miserak, his music. He hails from Mount Shasta. I'll let it increase a little more. This is called, the album's called When Angels Dream. What happens when angels dream? What do angels dream about? What do you dream about? All right. Make sure I share this as me, not the powers of love. I did that last time. This is number 2 of this series that's going to be ongoing until we finish the book. But come on in, say hello, breathe. Just know that this is a holy moment you've said yes to. All right. Welcome. Right behind me is our altar, very holy altar. Got some beverages to drink. How are you doing? How's your May? Springtime. It's good. My heart is expanding and my mind is being blown consistently by the presence of love of God as it's showing up. You know, the deeper work we do, the better it gets. And the simpler it gets. And so my intention with this Ascension inspiration, you know, maybe some of you watching this right now may not understand what the Ascension is, but I think most of you that tune in and click yes understand what the Ascension is. You know, we have fallen from grace in a lot of ways, and we're ascending in human form, in this body temple. We have an opportunity to ascend. And in simple terms, what does it mean to ascend? It just means to be happy. You know, all said and done, I can simplify it that. You're happy, you're prosperous, you're peaceful, you're living in your truest, highest form of yourself that was given to you when you were a child, and you're living in that divine blueprint of who and what you are. But I have been guided to a book, and a while ago I was asked to really tune in to who my sponsors are, who are my guides, who are the ones that I personally work with. And I work with many. I have, of course, Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, Quan Shi and Pusa, Kuan Yin, Buddha, Saint Germain and Lady Portia, Archangel Michael and Lady Faith. These are amazing ascended masters and light intelligences, beings of light, beings of councils of the one God presence, the monad, that I have journeyed with. And one of them, that he's known as the disciplinarian. He is the Lord of Luxor. He is the Chohan. Not a Chohan, of any ray, actually. He is works with the Great White Brotherhood in Egypt at a retreat, spiritual retreat at Luxor. And his name is known as Serapis Bey. And Serapis Bey, just to give you, you know, you can look up. I'm not going to go into who Serapis Bey is at this moment, But one of his incarnations was King Leonidas of Sparta, of the infamous 300 against the Persian army. But Serapis Bey is known as keeper of the Ascension Flame. And there is a flame inside of you that could be like a little pilot light, or could be just emblazoned inside of you, depending on the work that you do, on the inner work that you do, and the purification that you're saying yes to. You know, years ago, I told Heather, I got the guidance within that we need to fan the flame. You know, sometimes we do a decree, or we do a prayer, or we do something once in a while, but if we're not, you know, like a fire that we light in the fireplace, if we're not feeding it, if we're not blowing on it, if we're not focusing on the flame inside that fireplace, or in the fire pit at the campfire, what happens? The fire goes out, it goes dim. And inside you, you have a threefold flame. Okay? It's the holy fleur de lis. It's been shown. Love, power, and wisdom. You've seen it as the blue, the pink, and the gold flames lit inside of you. And there are things that we can do to support that flame. Okay? This ascension flame is essential. And we as humanity, we've been told this by the mystics and the sages of ages, and we're still waking up. We're still understanding ascension mechanics. And so, without a bunch of my words, I'm going to let Serapis Bey talk to us. Hello, Jim. Welcome, brother. If you're just here, come say hello. Come hang out for a little bit, just a little bit of time. We're going to read just one chapter. Last week was probably a little longer, and I'm going to turn down the music a little bit here. I'll pick it up maybe a little bit. But I brought my little bowl. And so, as I shared last week, I was in meditation a couple weeks ago. And while in some deep breath work, I heard the voice of the Great White Brotherhood. I said, Jason Michael, speak our voice. My voice and their voice are one voice. There is only one voice. There's only one power, one love. And I acknowledge that the voice of love is here to support your ascension in this now. So I invite you just to open your heart, open your mind, and commune in the space. And so I'm going to begin with a prayer. It's called the Keeper of the Flame Daily Prayer. Because I am a keeper of the flame. A flame is active. A flame is vital. A flame is eternal. We are a God flame of radiant love from the very heart of God and the great central sun. Descending from the Master of Life, I am charged now with beloved Helios and Vesta's supreme God consciousness and solar awareness. Pilgrim upon the earth, I am walking daily the way of the ascended Master's victory, which leads to my eternal freedom. And by the power of the sacred fire, this day and always continually made manifest in my thoughts, feelings, and immediate awareness, transcending and transmuting all elements of earth within my 4 lower bodies, and free me by the power of the sacred fire from those misqualified foci of energy within my being. I am set free here and now from all that binds by and through the currents of the divine flame of the sacred fire itself, whose ascending action makes me God in manifestation, God in action, God by direction, and God in consciousness. I am an active flame. I am a vital flame. I'm an eternal flame. I'm an expanding fire spark from the great central sun, drawing to me now every ray of divine energy which I need and which can never be requalified by the human, and flooding me with the light and God illumination of 1,000 suns to take dominion and rule supreme forever, everywhere I am. Where I am, God is there also. Unseparated forever I remain, increasing my light by the smile of his radiance, the fullness of his love, the omniscience of his wisdom, and by the power of his life eternal. That automatically raises me on ascension wings of victory, that shall return me to the heart of God, from whence in truth I am come to do God's will and manifest abundant life to all. Yes, Kate, no accident. We have an opportunity to ascend, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. The aerodynamics of the kite. You can ride the wave and ascend on the sweet streams of light and love, or you can be smashed to the rocks and get up and do it again. Your choice, your adventure. One more prayer, it's called the Great Invocation. Here in this Wesak window, approaching this full moon, this Wesak full moon on the 18th of May. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of humanity. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of humanity. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of humanity, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of humanity, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door wherein equity dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And so it is, and it is done, on earth as it is in heaven. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. Eir, Asher, Eir. What that means is holy, holy, holy is the Lord God of hosts. Eir, Asher, Eir is just another way to say, I am that I am. I am, we are. Welcome. For those of you that are here live, and those that are here now, in your holy now. It's very appropriate, and I just give gratitude to Serapis Bey for his presence in this book, in this transmission. Knowing my intention is to support you, to support we, the collective we, that we be. So last week I read the foreword, and today I'm going to read chapter 1. Once again, this is called The Dossier on the Ascension. It's backwards to you, but it's the story of the soul's acceleration to higher consciousness on the path of initiation. And whether you're aware of it or not, you are on a path of initiation. There are various stages of initiation. Most humanity is still in their first initiation. Some of us that have been consciously doing the inner work are coming into a possibly second to third initiation. But you are on a path of initiation. You've been doing this lifetimes. And we have an opportunity here on this planet, a beautiful opportunity that I believe in my soul. I raised my hand. I said, I want to be here for the big moment. I want to remember in the density of this. Let me see if I can play this game of peekaboo. Can I see God in this density? And we can, especially when we go to the flame and we light it up. Without the flame, it's not going to happen. Bottom line. So chapter 1, I'm just going to go into it, and if it feels inspired to just kind of let my heart speak, I will let it. If there's any questions, please. But this is a light-coded transmission. My beloved sings the codes of heaven. I speak the codes of heaven. I speak it, especially when it's light language. And when I said light language, I'm not going to be speaking to none of that. No, I'm going to be speaking. That's for another space and another place in the mansion of God. I'm here as a bridge builder from heaven on earth to be a bridge to you, not to lose you in translation. And I may still lose you in translation, but I'm going to do my best to keep it simple, to keep it clear, to keep it concise, to keep it compelling, to keep it clear, crystal clear. Karaya sata ala, crystal clear, right? Serapis says here in the beginning, unto you who remember the Ancient of Days, greetings from the Brotherhood at Luxor, who keep the memory of his sacred name. Now, before I even begin, Spirit gave me something today. I said with boldness, Heather and I really confirmed and affirmed in our own life, in our own relationship, in our own experience, the war is over. And I had a series of 3 Davids that showed up in my sphere today. One I had to really, he was speaking a lot of division between masculine and feminine, between religions and various things. And I had to speak with love and compassion, that's a old paradigm that we're outgrowing, like big children. We're getting out of our old clothes, our old garments, and we're putting on new garments, new clothes, new paradigm, new beliefs, ancient future, redesigning. And so I got to speak to a David, and I had 3 Davids show up in my sphere this morning, and I realized the house of David is restored. The house of David is restored. I have a relationship with King David that goes beyond anything I can even tell you right here and right now. But when I studied the Bible, I had a relationship with King David that was true to the soul, true blue heart of a shepherd king, of what that means. Not that I'm here to be a king, a ruler of any sorts. I'm here to rule my own life, rule my own little kingdom here with my wife and my son and my community, and give and serve and be that. I'm not here to be some political ruler. I'm not looking to do that. But when I talk about when we return to the holy lineage, the royal lineage, it's no accident that I live close to royal. We live close to Royal Avenue. David, the King David, the house of David, the house of Judah is restored. That's a whole nother thing. But check this out where he opens up. Serapis says, the sling of David shows what man can do when he is wedded by faith to his own latent divinity. The mimicry of humanity abounds in the world, and while imitation may be the highest form of flattery, the question before the hierarchy is, what do the current models offer? Men must return, women must return to the pristine, to the reality of the inner walk with God, to the high temple magic, embodied and captured in living truth. The high temple magic embodied. In my experience, my family, I've watched a lot of magicians, a lot of magical ones. And magic is real, magic is pure, magic is awesome. I am a magician. I am a magician. I'm not an illusionist. I'm a true magician. And love is the magic. Pure love, pulo, is the pure magic. When we really come to that living temple, we are magical. Life can be magical. Life is magical. Right? Men must return to the pristine, to the reality of the inner walk with God, to the high temple magic embodied and captured by living truth. The world media proclaim the wares of mankind, and material treasures may be bolstered, but seldom do men hear the voice that cries in the wilderness, proclaiming to make straight the way of the Lord. Almost forgotten are the sweet lispings. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. As a father, I take that to heart. I got my little boy in the other room. I'm homeschooling him. We are always learning and growing together. But it is an honor to teach my son. Let's teach our children well, as the song goes, right? And let's show them a life worthy of imitation. I, Serapis, then do come in memory of the Ancient of Days. And the Ancient of Days is Sanakamara. And in memory of the heritage of mankind, which is not crucifixion, albeit men die daily, nor resurrection, although some men are transformed daily, but is that splendid finale of the Ascension. When men sail going abroad, those upon the shore they gaily wave to those aboard ship. With the moving out of the ship to sea, there is a happy separation and thought of reunion. So should it be with those whose departing does leave behind them golden footsteps pointing towards cycle's heritage. Not death, not even separation is reality, but ascension's currents residual within all men and women in whom dwells the seed of God. It is not clearly recorded that upon the tree of life, let me read that again. Is it not clearly recorded that upon the tree of life 12 manner of fruit should appear? And is it not recorded that when the Master Jesus anointed the eyes of the blind man, that his first impression was, I see men as trees walking? What is the mystery then of the spinal tree behind the spine, of the sympathetic nervous system and the ganglionic trunks over which flow the currents of immortal life? How is the deathless solar body fabricated, and from whence is spun the substance of the wedding garment? Does not all come through the alchemy of the self? In a very real sense, did not God ordain that every man should become his own, her own Savior? I don't think I'm going to be speaking to traditional Christians here, but I'm just going to say it very plainly. You are to walk as Jesus walked. You are to walk as Magdalene walked. Magdalene embodied Christ, Christus. The two of them in union embodied something that we have really yet to see on our planet since then. We're getting there. Heather and I are doing our best to carry the torch in our own messiahship, in our own saviorship, in our own unique inner salvation, our own inner alchemy, and together as an alchemical union. But you are your own Savior. Don't wait for Jesus to come down from a chariot, waiting for him to do something for you. You got to learn to fish yourself. Your ascension lies in your temple, your inner housekeeping. The way has been made clear, but it's for you to trod the path if you have trod. Does not all come through the alchemy of the self? And in a very real sense, did not God ordain that every man should become his own Savior? Oh, we're not talking about paltry mortal flesh and blood. We're not talking about the finite man. We're talking about the God-man, the presence of life that is the individualized reality of every soul. The presence of God individualized as true being is I am. This is that flaming spirit, deathless, birthless, uncreated, and yet creating, that spoke to Moses out of the flaming fire in the bush, saying, I am that I am. The mystery of the ascension, then, is attained by partaking of the tree of life and the 12 manner of fruit thereof. It is attained by the realization of the real man, capital R, capital M. Men do not gather grapes of thistles, and no matter how many wolves may parade in sheep's clothing and sing forth high-sounding phrases which become no more than a tinkling little cymbal, the law of God cannot be broken with impunity, and the watermarks of man's rebellion and confusion rise high in the astral record. Let's say that again. The law of God cannot be broken with impunity, and the watermarks of man's rebellion and confusion rise high in the astral records, signifying man's lack of emotional control. Some have met with our lieutenants, our co-directors at Luxor, who greet the young neophytes as they arrive. Some have commented on what they have termed the lack of feeling, the lack of emotion, and even the lack of love our representatives have expressed. So what Serapis is saying, that when we go into dream time, we have an opportunity to go to the retreats. It was told to me years and years ago. I didn't quite understand that. I'm like, I can go to the university? There's a university I can go to in dream time? Yes. You travel when you sleep, and you can actually direct, you can say, just as you can when you go to the store or to Trader Joe's or to your friend's house. You direct your GPS, you put up where you're going to go. And at nighttime, you can do the same thing because you travel. And instead of traveling willy-nilly, you can actually direct your travels. And so at nighttime, if this feels resonant for you, find a way, find a simple prayer that says, look, in my, I invoke my I am presence, I invoke my subtle light body to go and, protect me in my travels as I go to the temple at Luxor. And then that's where you'll meet the Great White Brotherhood. That's where you'll meet the initiates and the lieutenants and the co-directors that Serapis is saying. And so he's saying is that some of the initiates that come, the neophytes that come, they look and instead of like, hey, brother, so good to see you. Oh, let me flower you with a little love. And they're just like, yo, are you ready to do the work? Are you ready to do the work? All the love and all the pink fluffy clouds in our ascension and in our spiritual walk is awesome and good. The threefold flame, remember? Love, power, and wisdom. Love is beautiful, but power and wisdom sometimes may appear to be stoic, maybe appear to be unmoved by the adoration of a neophyte that just wants to get into the, sometimes we go into a celebrity, we go into our work, or we go into some, whoever the authority is. I just want to get close. You see that with, we see it all the time in organizations. You want to sit in the front row and I'm a good student. Maybe the teacher will really like me and give me good grades, or maybe the spiritual director of this community will, if I butter up to them, maybe they'll really like me and think that I'm special. And so we do that when we go to Luxor. We do that when we go to the temples. We go to that and we want to have that special treatment because we want to feel special ultimately. Why do we want to feel special? Because we believe somewhere we are separated from the source of love. We forgot that we are the threefold flame. We forgot we are the Christ. We are this central sun. We are that I am that I am. When we remember that, we're no longer looking for the praise of the authority figures in our life. And I know this firsthand because I journeyed in this, looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for nub, looking for nub. Yeah. I can tell you, I am freer today of needing the good or bad opinion of anybody to tell me who I am, because I know who I am, and I know why I'm here, and I'm here for right now. All right. So some men, he says, have met with our lieutenants and our co-directors at Luxor who greet the young neophytes as they arrive. Some have commented what they have termed the lack of feeling, the lack of emotion, even the lack of love, and our representatives have expressed. They have not understood that love is not just a feeling, an emoting that desires to swallow up the object of its affection. You got to bear with me because I can't be too serious. When we're just swallowed up with love's affection. I've got this image of the Looney Tunes, when I think it's the dog or one of the cartoons is hugging. I want to hug him and squeeze him and call him George. I just want to hold this. Please, my precious, don't ever leave me. That's not pure love. That's something else. Those who hollow space understand why the planets are placed in orbits allowing, it's called Lebensraum. Each of the planets, they have a living room for each orb to circulate love for the God flame and holds no other desire save the expectation of the amplification of that flame as a tangible divine feeling that sweeps the world pure and clean with the washing of the water by the word invincible. The purification of the soul in the ritual of the ascension must be recognized as the manifestation of that pristine and original ideation of God, which men call the soul. The real meaning of the soul is solar El, which refers to the latent power of the divine angel within man. There's an angel in you, latent in some, expanding in others, but you are a solar El. You're not just a little meat suit. Not exciting. Is to me. I do not expect that all my words will be interpreted correctly, Serapis says, nor that they will be understood by all, and that's okay. I don't need you all to understand this. Some of you are going to understand. Some of you are going to wake up. Some of you are going to be inspired. Some of you are going to be activated to redesign, realign, remember, reconnect to your solar L, to your angelic presence. That is way beyond anything you've ever seen and done in this man, in this time. Yes, Jim. You are a soul man. He goes on to say, but I must state the law and order that those who have been initiated to a level of comprehension suitable for the revelation inherent within the mystery may then comprehend it. The solar L is the infinite idea of God projected by the divine light through the so-called 7 densities of creation, including the angelic realm, and evolving within man and woman as the evolution of divine energy intended in the beginning. One of the saddest ideas in connection with the Ascension is that those who are accustomed to rock and roll, Wiener Schnitzel, egoic bolstering, and the suave distinction and glorification of the lesser self, aren't I so cool? Look at me with my gold and my Ferrari and my things. I love that he says Wiener Schnitzel in here. That's so awesome. So, one of the saddest ideas in connection with the Ascension is that those who are accustomed, where we have woken up out of this world where we glamorize all this glorification of the lesser self may actually fear the abolishment of that which they hold dear as spelling an end to their individual worlds. What will happen? What about all that I know? What about all this stuff and my accumulation and my job and my relationship and what I think I am and what this world really is? I don't know what life is without all that. That's okay. You don't need to. These people that when we live in that, we're living in a Lilliputian world, which has meaning and depth to them because of their habit patterns of long standing and their mimicry of what seems to be a pleasant idea to the mortal mind. We seek to raise the veil upon the wonderful world of cosmic magic. The magic of believing in the power of the original intent, which may then be blazed as the all-consuming love of God through the entire warp and woof of the self. Changes will be wrought, of course. This should be expected. But we who know every step of the way say to you all, they will be welcome changes once the soul becomes acclimatized and the consciousness adjusted to its new environment. Naturally, there will be a space, an increment of time between the opening of the first seal of reality and the fulmination of that magical potion, the elixir of life, into the test tube of the human soul. How could it be otherwise? For certainly that which men deem to be life and hold to be real, while it holds a semblance of reality, is not the reality with which God will bless mankind. Nevertheless, men must understand that the springboard of the present life is a platform upon which the cosmic astronaut will be launched into higher dimensions. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. Any questions? Any comments? Share this if you feel like this will support somebody. But I fully acknowledge that this is a narrow path transmission. I'm not expecting this to be a big, huge, I'm not looking for 3,000, 5,000. I don't care how many thousands or how many hundreds or how many tens. Watch this. I'm in obedience to my sponsor. I'm in obedience to the Great White Brotherhood. The Great White Brotherhood, for those that are conspiracy theorists, this is not the Ku Klux Klan. This is not even has to do anything to do with gender, race, creed, or color. Nothing. The Great White Brotherhood is an ancient order of cosmic beings, the Council of Light. All right? Those are the ones I work with. Those are the ones Heather works with. Those are the ones that many of you work with. And you'll recognize the frequency. You'll recognize the purity of heart. I'm not looking here to convert you to anything. Take what you want and leave the rest. I don't care. I don't care. What I do care about is that we as humanity get initiated, get emblazoned to become living temples of the holy flame of God. Because our world is in chaos. Our world demands, humanity demands, the elemental realm, the angelic realm, the devic realm, the nature spirit realms command and demand of us in this time, in this window of this generation, to rise up and to claim our ascension and to ascend. And there are certain things, and that's what I'm here. That's all I'm here to help you with. And Serapis goes on to say, we at Luxor are not without a contactual love for everyone who comes to us and seeks to amplify the ascension currents. We simply dare not recognize the stratum of the human emanation that layer upon layer, the onion, right, has imprudently builded out of pure light substance, causing shadowed enclosures to surround the self of man in concentric rings of error. And I don't know if you're getting lost in this, but imagine our miasma, our Maya, our false beliefs. They create these, we become bound by our thoughts, by our beliefs, by our ancestral beliefs, by our ancestral actions, by our karmic past. We get bound. And it's upon us in this lifetime to clear 7 generations forward and 7 generations back. But you're either bound or you're loose. You're bound or you're loose. How joyful are you? How abundant, and not just money, but how abundant are you in your health, in your love, in your relationships, in your creative expression? Are you here in passion and purpose? Or are you feeling bound? Are you feeling limitation? If so, it's time to blaze the threefold flame. It's time to visit Serapis Bay and the Ascension Flame Temple and get unbound. It's upon you, what you do. Superman ain't coming to save you. Superman's here to show you what to do. Error produces pain and suffering. We who understand the correct use of energy must then greet the Chela in what appears to be an impersonal manner, but which in actuality is an intense focusing of the God flame within ourselves and the God flame within the aspirant. When you meet with these masters, and we're going to have an experience, we as humanity have an opportunity for the masters to come in form. But they're only going to show up in form around you when you raise your vibrational quotient. When your light quotient in your body becomes a match, there is a place where we can go. But if we're suffering from anything in our life, if we're suffering in any limitation in health, wealth, creative expression, just joy, if you're not in joy, this has been coming up yesterday, it was clear, more joy. What is joy? That's a whole nother video. And I have to say this, Heather and I are going to be coming live weekly. We got so much coming through, but this is my piece. This is Jason Michael's piece with little Ascension inspiration, Serapis Bay. Okay? But there's so much joy and creation coming through. But if we're bound by suffering, these errors that we're producing in mind, body, and action, we must correct the use of our energy. We have seen cases where for over 40 years we have focused this flame within an individual before securing results. We have seen cases where for over 40 years we've been focusing this flame within an individual before securing results. You may be saying, I've worked with the masters. Got it, check, boom, done it. Well, where are you at in your life? Are you free? Are you flying? No, there's probably more work to do, right? We're all in this class. We're all in this process, progress, right? In the rooms of recovery, I remember progress before perfection. Don't shame yourself if you've messed up. Serapis Bay is known as the disciplinarian. In my journey, because I am a blue ray being, right? I carry a lot of blue ray, first ray energy. The energy of Archangel Michael, El Moira, El Moro was known as King Arthur, right? These beings, these are my sponsors. These are the ones that surround me, inhabit me, inspire me to speak. And sometimes I'm like a sword. I will speak truth with love and clarity and authority. And I've got my beloved, who's a beautiful pink ray being. She is love manifest. She is grace manifest. And we complement each other, and we are the powers of love, right? That's what we're showing up in this lifetime as. But here we are, the blue and the pink ray, and when we come together, we create that golden Christ ray, that wisdom, where love and power now are together in harmony and not overpowering, because with too much power becomes tyranny. With too much love and not power, it's insipid, it's weak, right? And so we are coming into an understanding of power and love. But when you come into these beings, when you come into the path of initiation and the path of ascension, it is not for the faint of heart. You've got to do your work. And there is work. It's holy work, but it's worth every ounce of energy, every ounce of time. Where do you put your time? Where are you putting your energy? Are you putting it on the negative news network? Are you putting it in the negative news network in your head? We're all dealing with conditions of the world in the outer form. But we have an opportunity in humanity and the collective. We don't need everybody. Again, this message isn't going to go for everybody. We're looking for just a few devoted souls. It's been talked about, the 144,000, right? Anchoring in, getting integrous, getting humble, getting consecrated to do the inner work of this flame. Some have within a period. So he says, that Serapis has been working over 40 years with individuals. Then in an instant, in the twinkling of an eye, a God is born. Some have within a period of 40 days of purification come to the position of Christhood and ready themselves for the ascension. And being that, we cannot compare ourselves to anybody else. Just because somebody's been on the path for 40 years, or somebody's been on the path for 40 days, or somebody's been on the path for 4 years, or 40 seconds. Time and space is an illusion. When Satori and enlightenment happen, we cannot judge that person. We can see by the fruits of their life. And not that we're going to judge them by their fruits, but the fruits of their life will reveal where the work is. The radiance of their being, the joy, the abundance of life. When the magic is happening, it's undeniable. And we don't need to judge them and compare ourselves to them, but just go back home to the throne within and go, where do I need to clear out? Where do I need to do my work? And so he goes on to say, let love then be indeed without dissimulation, and be not carried away by those who gush over mankind in order to win him over to mortal thoughts and feelings. Our laws are perfect laws, and they can never be flaunted, for they are embodied within the spirit of the flame at Luxor. May I carry on in the coming week and tell you more? You want to hear more? Well, for your freedom and victory, I am your brother at Luxor, Serapis. If you want more, come back next week, Thursday, 1 o'clock. It's Ascension Inspiration with Jason Michael Powers. That's what I'm just calling it, just for fun. Let this be an inspiration to you. It sure is to me. This lights my heart up. It lights my soul up. Because as a young man who was met on a sidewalk by a man who gave me a pamphlet when I was probably, 15 years old, do I want to pray Jesus into my heart? There began a journey. And my journey with Jesus goes well beyond, obviously, this lifetime. But I do know that to embody the Christ within is a process. And it's a decision. It's a choice. Every knee will bow. Every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. That's the truth. Christ is Lord. The Christ inside you is Lord of your heart, not the Christ outside of you on the cross. We're taking Jesus off the cross. Yes, it's happening. And so, may you have an incredible day. We're coming into the Wesak window of the full moon on the 18th. We're in a potent, potent gateway. I know you feel it. I know you feel it rising. And if you don't feel it rising, as I got the download that there is an aerodynamic wave. There is a light wave coming in, you know? And there's been a lot of synchronicity with the kites. And I've been saying, like, as a kite who's anchored in, that kite needs to be anchored in to the I am presence, your tube of light, right? When your tube of light is anchored, your pillar of white fire is anchored, now you are anchored in your I am presence, and you can soar and you can rise. Dense will not, density, dense thoughts, anger, fear, doubt, worry, all those dense emotions constrict us, bind us, and cause us to sink. And so this aerodynamic, if we're in that energy, we will be, this wave will feel crushed. I don't know if you've ever been in a wave, but when that wave comes, I've been surfing at times, I've been in those waves, and when you get caught up and you're not in the flow of the wave, that wave will crush you and scare the crap out of you, and you will never want to get in the ocean again because it's so scary, because those waves are powerful. We're in a great wave. Take heart. Be still and know that I am, no matter what's showing up out here. And so I close this time in prayer and gratitude right now as I go within, knowing that there is only one power, one presence, one God, one monad. And all beings, all life are fractals of this one. Remembering, reconnecting, magnetized, going back home as light filaments to the one magnet source of the great central sun. I thank all the master teachers, and especially Serapis Bey in this moment, for giving us the discipline and the understanding of a journey of initiation. That I know that each one of us are invited, if we choose, to come to this holy temple at Luxor, to meet with this council, and to say, yes, I am available for the ascension. I'm saying yes. Take my life, take my stream and use it. Not my will, but thy will be done, God, is my prayer for all of us, that we surrender our little wills and we align with the big will, which is love, which is prosperity, which is abundance, which is joy, which is peace, which is amazingness, if we just surrender our little human ego. Wonders, magic, and miracles are available to us. I breathe in gratitude, knowing that we are not alone. We are held, we are guarded, we are guided. When we get still and pay attention and watch the fireflies, the little light bugs in the darkness. And for those of you that are experiencing any kind of suffering, may you feel hope. May you feel comforted. May you take a breath that's always there and breathe in stillness, knowing that this is going to pass. That there is a power inside of you surging to support your elevation out of the conditions that may seem to have you stuck. There is a power greater than the small you that you can use. And in fact, you are that power. You are that love. You are that wisdom. From this heart, of a Christed heart, of a Michael heart, of a Mary heart, and many more names that I don't even need to name. For years it just was one love. I am the voice of one love. with no intention but to support you, inspire you, activate something within you that helps you remember who you are, because I am just a fractalized mirror of you. We are remembering who we are. Thank you, beloved, for being here. Thank you, beloved, for being on the journey. I think we're planning on going live Sunday on Mother's Day. Have a great Mother's Day. What a great day. I swear these holidays get holier and holier and holier every year. Mother's Day is very sacred to our hearts as we walk a journey with Divine Mother so tenderly as she's sitting there right there. You know, and I'll show you little pictures here. There's Mother Mary. There's Kuan Yin. The Divine Mother is a very, very special being in our life. And so I bless you. I bless you. I bless you. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Thursday, 1 o'clock. Come back and see Heather and I on Sunday. For those that are in LA, we're going to be at Simi Valley Center doing some chants. And for those of you that are international or wherever you are, just stay connected. Share this if you feel it's been valuable. And if you do, I do feel guided to say this. This is just a love offering of my heart. If you've been blessed by this, if you have been encouraged by this, I invite you to go to thepowersoflove.com. Go all the way down. There is an opportunity to give a love offering. I'm not doing this for money, but it is really awesome when you can participate in that law of reciprocity where wherever you are spiritually fed, that you give back to that. That's for you to do. It's not upon me, but it's upon you. And we live in that, a tithing mentality. We give where we're spiritually fed and we're blessed. And so it's only going to bless you. And so I invite that blessing upon yourself, if that feels right. All right. I love you. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you next time.